All right, Mob, welcome back to the cream of the crop, 4th and 31. Dig it, yeah. 4th and 31 podcast, your one stop shop for all things college and SEC football. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that bell so you never miss a single second. I'm your host, part of the Killer Bees broadcasting team, the Chad Bullock. Tonight we have the Broducer and Brant Feinbaum. Mob, this is it. No more college football, at least any games that matter until hopefully August. Hopefully we'll get a late August game or a second to last weekend in August. But man, what a kind of an up and down national championship game we had. The first half was absolutely dog crap. I was so bored of it. I was just scrolling through Facebook the first half because it was god awfully boring. Second half, the second half was what a championship game needs to be. Back and forth. Um, I think we all kind of expected Beck to make a Beck mistake, and that last throw he did, we're going to talk about it. That was probably the worst throw I've ever seen. It was complete opposite of Tua in the 18 or in the 17 national championship where he hit Devontae on the streak. That ball was severely underthrown. I've seen, heard about the penalties, people griping about penalties, but let's be honest, they pretty much let both teams play. I didn't see nothing too egregious. Now, I will say this. There should have been a penalty on Miami against Mendoza in the first half because that was late and that was high. That probably should have been a penalty. But other than that, all the holdings, maybe, I don't know, maybe an offside here, maybe not even offside, but mostly the holdings and probably the pass interferences. Let's just be honest. They just let them play. So, Feinbaum, what you got?
Well, just to your point, I hope no Indiana fan was complaining about penalties because that's the first time I think I've ever seen you penalized all year. So I think you're okay. Let's just relax. All right. This is number one. Number two. What's my time limit on my segment right now? I need to know. I need to know what you got to give me a time frame here. I got to fit all this in.
You've got unlimited.
Oh, that's dangerous. Okay. So I'll say this on the game itself. Fantastic game. I agree. The first half was terrible. Um, but I started, I'm trying to figure out if it was really bad or it was well prepared, But I went back and watched it again, and yeah, it was a bad first half, bad from both teams, and second half I completely agree. Exactly how football should be played, exactly how it should look. I mean, and everybody's going to say this, but I guess I'll join the crowd. The only thing that separated Miami from winning that national championship, it wasn't the interception at the end. It's Fernando Mendoza's heart to score on that quarterback scramble play. I mean, that single-handedly, if that didn't win them the game, that pissed them off enough to want to win that game. I mean, no, everybody wants to say this. I heard this a couple times say he's probably not the best Heisman in the last decade or whatever. But I mean, people are just forgetting Travis Hunter exists. But let me tell you, it takes heart. It takes heart to play like that. I mean, that kid, there was nothing stopping him from getting to that end zone. I mean, you could have put a brick wall in front of him. He was going to run through it. And I think that is exactly what college football is all about. I understand a lot of people love pro football, and pro football is honestly probably in a better spot right now than college football. But it's moments like that that make college football college football. And it makes you want to watch more. I mean, after I watched that game last night, I mean, I could care less for Indiana or Miami, but I wanted to watch more. I'm like, man, I wish there was another game on. Like, I mean, that made me want to play football and watch football again. So great. I mean, great game plans. Both sides. It's just one side had more heart than the other, and I completely agree on Beck's last throw. I mean, it's easy to say. I mean, obviously, look. I mean, we're not out there. I mean, we're in the stands. We're watching on TV. We're not out there. He possibly could have seen something that would have led him to underthrow that ball. I don't know, but from a football standpoint, I'll say if you got a guy running down the sideline, and I'm assuming he didn't look off the safety because the safety never checked up. As soon as that ball was snapped, he started sprinting to that outside receiver. And I mean, obviously that cornerback's going to know I have help over the top. I mean, I don't have to play him dead on. I can let that safety come over and help me. And instead of Carson Beck doing what he should have done, which is if not overthrow him, I mean, put it in a very difficult spot for anybody else to get that ball. I mean, he underthrew him by 5, 6, 7 yards. I mean, the dude didn't have to jump. I mean, he just stood there, caught it, fell down. The game was over. And I feel like as Alabama fans, because we played Carson Beck for so long, we felt like that mistake was coming. We didn't know if it was going to be in the Natty. We just knew it was going to be in the playoff. He's just known for having one slip up. I mean, and it just happened to be on the biggest stage, in college football. I mean, and it sucks. I hate it for him. I have nothing against Carson Beck. I just think that the one time he didn't need to make a mistake, he made a mistake and it cost him. But I mean, once again, I mean, I think he'll be a solid, quarterback in the NFL and probably be a good backup. I mean, I don't see him really taking anybody's spots, but I mean, it's Miami did. Kudos, dude. I mean, kudos, Miami. I mean, nobody here expected that game to be that close. I mean, especially Indiana's track record. I mean, Indiana had blown through everybody. I mean, nobody. I'm telling you right now, Chad. I know you talked for me on the show the other night, said 28-0. I honestly thought it was going to be worse than that. I thought it was going to be about a 42-10, 42-7 game. I mean, I didn't see it being close.
I was close. I guess I drew your aura that night.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. And I mean, but when I got when it got to halftime, I was like, dang, Miami's got a chance. And I just didn't think I was going to say that. So, I mean, kudos to Mario Cristobal and the game plan he put forth, man, because, I mean, they had an opportunity to win that national championship. So I got a kudos to them. There's one player, I wrote it down. There's one player I wanted to highlight. Not just from not enough cocaine. Not just from this game, but the past, I don't know, probably 6-7 games since I started watching Indiana. Charlie Becker. I mean, that kid is insane. The most pristine route running I've ever seen. And I mean, now granted, I just could be making this completely up. I was told that he was a walk-on. I don't know if that's true. But if he is, and to get on the biggest stage in football and college football, and I mean, he's out there. He's all over the place. He looks like exactly how we thought Ryan Williams was going to be for us. And that kid's a freak. I got to shout him out. And obviously Elijah Surratt, he played his butt off all year. I mean, I didn't really think anything different. I mean, I kind of figured he was going to do his thing. As far as the Miami side, I got to give, and I saw the video after the game and everything that happened, but man, Fletcher, that kid played his heart out. And same thing with Tony. I mean, those two kids, they left it all on that field. They have nothing to be ashamed of. Everybody better pick if you're a Miami fan and you're watching the show, you need to pick those two guys up because they did everything in their power to make sure y'all at least, if not one, had a chance to win that game.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just special talent, and that's hard to find, especially a team with that much heart. Because Notre Dame's argument completely got ruined. But, I mean, they didn't even think Miami deserved to be there. And then Miami makes it all the way to the national championship.
No. Miami or Notre Dame fans, they changed their story. It wasn't, we didn't think Miami should have been in. It was 4 other teams that they weren't complaining about until Miami started winning. But go on.
Yeah, don't even get me started on Notre Dame. But, I mean, if you're going to complain, you better complain about James Madison and Tulane being in there before you complain about before you can complain about Alabama and freaking Miami. You better complain about those two first. But anyway, I just think that we got the national championship that we wanted. I mean, nobody wanted to watch a blowout. I mean, I'm sure Indiana fans wanted to blow out. But I think that was a pristine national championship game. I think it was very well done. I thought the casters and the announcers did very, very well. I do agree they let them play. I just don't. I hope no Indiana fans are complaining about penalties. I mean, because there's just no room for that. I mean, there's been bad penalties in the playoff, but I mean, I think Indiana's had 10 in 4 games.
Well, hey, look, I was just referencing what Coach said at halftime about the personal fouls on the quarterback. That's the only thing I'm referencing.
That's definitely that was definitely should have been called. I mean, 1,000%. I don't think anybody's really doubting that. But from a next year standpoint, I mean, Indiana's going to be losing a lot of players. I don't know how they're doing in the portal. I just don't keep up with Indiana's portal. But, I mean, they're going to be losing, 18 out of 22 starters? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a lot of names to kind of put in there afterwards. That's tough. But I'm sure Kurt Cignetti will get it done. I mean, he Google him, he wins. So I gotta trust him. I mean, he's giving me no reason not to. And I kind of want to, I do want to piggyback into something else. And this is completely not about any of the teams or players. But I'm just going to say this, and for the people who know what I'm talking about, you'll know what I'm talking about. The cameraman, whoever he is, knew what he was doing. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to say anything about it. But if you know, you know. The cameraman knew what he was doing. And I'm sure he either A, got a raise, or B, got fired. So there's the only 2 things. But, yeah, great game. Excited for next year already. I mean, you know how it is, especially as an Alabama fan. I mean, we live and breathe football down here. If there's no football being played, we're bored out of our minds. And usually I'd say, hey, let's look forward to March Madness, and We're not doing too hot in basketball right now either. So,
Well, that's not basketball.
you know what I mean. So March Madness, I guess we'll look forward to. But yeah, it's pretty much all I got, guys. Kudos Miami. Y'all played great, just not good enough. Y'all just had to slip up at the end. And Indiana, I'm sure will do everything they can to be back next year in the same spot. But Miami's got one thing that Alabama had to deal with for a long time. Even Clemson had to deal with for those 4 years, the 2015 to the 2018 season. You're no longer the guy that's trying to get to the top. You're on the top. And everybody is going to be trying to watch your film. You're going to be being studied. Everybody's going to want to figure out what Indiana did different than everybody else that allowed them to get to that spot. So, and I'm sure Kurt Cignetti knows that. I'm sure he's going to have a game plan set forth to a couple of years down the road. And I think Indiana's going to be here for a while, guys. Unless Kurt Cignetti, something really unfortunate happens to him, or I don't know, somebody comes down and beats the living daylights out of him and he can't coach anymore. I don't know. I just don't see Indiana not being in the picture anymore. And actually, I'll add this since I have infinite time. The SEC, I mean, I hope none of us out there are saying that we own the Big Ten anymore, because that's back to back to back. And we hadn't stopped them. So, we weren't even in a position to stop them this year or last year. We weren't. No, it was Michigan and Washington the year before that. We weren't even in the three natties they won. We were nowhere near it. We weren't in the picture, and so I think that argument.
They were.
We weren't in the natties the last 3 years.
But they were in a position to win it. Alabama played Michigan. They just lost it, but they were in a position.
We lost.
Yeah, but we were in position though.
No.
It's not like no SEC team was in the playoffs.
I think what Brand is trying to say is we weren't in the Natty.
Yes, exactly.
There was no SEC team in the Natty.
Well, that's a true statement.
I think that the whole argument that all these SEC fans out there, and I'm one of you, so I understand that the SEC has the most depth and it's the best conference. You can't do that anymore. If you want to say we have more depth than the Big Ten, sure, maybe you can make that argument, because we do have a lot of ranked teams, a lot of teams that are put forth a lot of effort, a lot of them that are around the 500 mark, and obviously the Big Ten, they have 5 really, 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 maybe even 6 really, really good teams, and then it just does kind of fall off a little bit more than the SEC. But I mean, we cannot claim the Big Ten anymore. I mean, the Big Ten is. They're the pinnacle. They're at the top, and I don't know if the SEC might not get back in a spot to take them off that pedestal. I mean, if we can't figure out how to work this NIL as well as Indiana has, and I highlight Indiana because they've handled the portal better than anybody. I fear that the SEC, this might be a downhill tread, and I pray it's not. I want Alabama back on top just as much as any Alabama fan does, but until we do it, use the same logic, man. We couldn't pick against Indiana because nobody proved to us they could beat them. We can't say the SEC is better than the Big Ten when they're winning all the natties. So that's my last point. I'll let one else y'all go or whatever. But yep, good game, Miami. Indiana just upper hand.
All right, Bro Deucer, what you got, man?
All right, let's clap it up for both of these teams. Hell of a game. This is one of the best national championship games I've ever watched. I don't want to say it's the best, but it's definitely up there in that category. Congratulations, Indiana. Wonderful season. You guys proved us all wrong. Every time we picked against you, you proved us wrong. Miami, I know it's got to be hard to lose this game, but so many players, so many guys out there were giving all they had. First quarter, the first half, it was sloppy. I was trying to give it the defensive perspective, and I thought maybe that's what after watching it a second time, I thought maybe it's just a little sloppy. Maybe these guys had some butterflies. This is the national championship. This is the biggest stage you've ever played on. Both these teams, Indiana had never been there, and Miami hadn't been there in quite some time. So I know that was a lot on these players, but man, the stars shined. All the stars shine. Brant mentioned all those names from both teams. I'll throw Cooper in there, wide receiver from Indiana. Throw him in there as well. So many stars shine last night. What a great game. Second half, it was counterpunch after counterpunch after counterpunch. They were bringing it, man. Neither one of these teams were here to lose. They were both here to not only win, I mean, they wanted to walk out of here with that championship so bad, and it showed. It was a fantastic game. The entire game, I mean, I picked Indiana to win by 2 touchdowns. And, you know, and I thought going in, even if that's the case, Miami had the best pass rush I've seen in forever. You know, they got two defensive ends that are going to go in the first round. I know Payne's going to go top 5 more than likely, top 10 worst, and then what's the other one's name? The other edge rusher. Oh God, it'll come to me in a minute. He's a little older. I think he's 23, 24. I see him going late first because of his age, but he's going first round. I mean, there's a lot of NFL talent on both of these teams, and we want to talk about the future here. I honestly think that Indiana is probably going to go double digits in the draft. Don't be surprised if you see more Indiana players being drafted this year in this particular NFL draft than just about anybody else, because they're an older roster. A lot of them are going pro. You're going to see double-digit numbers for Indiana in this draft. Now, what does that mean for Indiana next year? We don't know, but we do know they play that portal very well. They play that entire portal system very, very well. I do not see them falling off. I see Indiana being maybe not champions next year, but they're definitely going to be in play to repeat, for sure. We'll see what they do at quarterback with Mendoza going pro, and same with Miami with Beck not being there next year. Who takes over at quarterback from Miami? I haven't heard a whole lot of talk about that either. So we'll see what changes are made to both of these teams. But, man, just an outstanding game. Loved it. I hated it when it was over, and I hate how it ended. You want to talk about Carson Beck? We've been waiting on it. He's done really well with the football since I want to say that SMU game. I don't think he's thrown a pick since then. I mean, that was October, wasn't it? I mean, we haven't seen an interception from him in a while. So we've all kind of been sitting back waiting on it, knowing it was going to happen. I hate it happened when it did. I don't know what he was doing there. I don't know what he was looking at. I kind of think maybe Indiana baited him into the play, into the throw. But I don't know what happened there. He just Beck pulled a Beck finally at the end of the game. And you hate to see it go out like that. You hate to see that for the Miami players and the fans. I hate that it ended the way it did, but kudos to Indiana, man. You guys absolutely rocked it this year. You deserve to be the champion. 16-0. I mean, absolutely just phenomenal performance this season. And as a Bama fan, I will say this. I'm glad it's over. I'm glad we can move on. I'm glad the season is done. Now we can start focusing on next year. And Bama's done really well in the portal so far. And we've really tied in some loose ends, especially on offensive line and defensive line, honestly. So really excited and optimistic about Bama going into next season, even if the offensive coach is still there. We'll deal with that as we get there. But maybe it's not him. Maybe it was just the lack of production on offensive line, and we had a lot of young guys there. So, and it looks like we brought some people in from the portal that are a little older. So I'm excited about what's coming up there. But again, great game. Loved it. Hated it ended how it ended. But absolutely phenomenal game. This is going to go down as one of the best national title games I've ever seen. It's definitely up there. Texas and USC. What year was that?
05.
05, yeah. That was the best title game I ever watched. No, it did not include Alabama. But that was the best title game I had ever seen. This one's right up there with that. I will say that. I mean, that second half, man, it was just incredible. I mean, just counterpunch after counterpunch after counterpunch. Neither one of these two teams were here to lose. Kudos to both teams. Kudos to Indiana for winning. But, yeah, that's what I got.
Well, okay. Let's get into some of these numbers. I know we're only 20 minutes in. This is probably the shortest one we've ever had. But I mean, the numbers are crazy. Like if I told you Scott and Brand, if I told you Mendoza would go 16 of 27 for 186 yards, no touchdowns.
I'd say Miami
Right.
wins the game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, Miami was they averaged 5 yards a rush.
Yeah.
If you would have told me that, if you would have told me that without watching the game, I would have automatically assumed Miami won the game.
Yeah.
I mean,
And-
they were averaging 5 yards a rush. That's great.
Yeah. I mean, and what if I told you that Miami outgained Indiana, which
Yeah.
they did?
Right.
Yeah. And what if I had told you that Carson Beck statistically had a better game than really Mendoza did? If you look at the numbers, he threw for like 60, 70 more yards, which I know yards ain't necessarily everything, but he moved the ball on that defense.
Mhm.
They did fairly well.
They really
You know,
did.
he just had the horrible throw at the end, and I mean Miami essentially had two turnovers. They had the interception and the punt block, which the punt block was pretty much the one you can't have that down there at the end. But even Mendoza had all those what do you have, like 8 touchdowns and 5 incompletions coming into this game, something like some kind of stupid NCAA football numbers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that last drive that he had, I mean, you want to talk about clutch throw after clutch throw after clutch throw, talking about a guy who just makes plays when he has to help his team win, because a field goal at that time would have certainly kept Miami in it.
Right.
You know, instead they get the touchdown and pretty much kind of put the game away
Yeah.
at a to a certain extent. But even that last play when he intercepted and they had the ball inside the 5, and then they had, I think, a penalty to put it at like the 2, and you see them lining up, and I'm thinking if he doesn't fall forward,
Right.
Miami gets a safety and the ball back.
Mm-hmm.
So
I was
now
thinking the
it's
same
getting-
thing.
Yeah,
Mhm.
okay. So I'm thinking now you're going to make it 27-23, and I think they had 30 seconds. So you get a free kick from the 20. You get any kind of decent return, you're going to make this even more interesting. So I was like,
Mhm.
this could get, but Mendoza, he's too smart for all that crap. So he fell forward to kind of ice that away. And I mean, like y'all said, I mean, what a hell of a game, man.
Yeah.
To go from what you did in the first half to the second half. And,
Mhm.
I can't give, kudos enough to Indiana for making the plays, and really Miami for coming back and, like y'all said, counterpunching in the second half, because it looked like at one point you thought, well, here we go. Indiana scores if they can get a stop and another score, but they didn't get the stop until the end.
Right.
But the last thing I'll say on this is I don't understand the play call at that time, because it seems like Beck does better work in the middle,
Mhm.
because he made some great throws to get them down there. Now they
Right.
did have a run, they did have a few runs, but just watching him, he seems to exceed better with middle of the field, 15, 20-yard throws at a time. And I don't think at that time you needed that home run ball, but I mean, it's second guessing. It is what it is. They called the
Right.
play. Like y'all said, I'm not in the huddle. I don't really follow it, but I know what I see at certain times.
Yeah.
But
I call that the Ryan Grubb special. You need 10 yards and you go for 60.
Yeah. Yeah.
all
They
right.
they were just, they were moving down the field. They were using the middle of the field. They were getting chunks
Yes.
of yards. They were doing fine. If they had just kept doing that, I firmly believe that they would have gotten into the end zone if they had just stayed the course and just continued to do what they were doing. That's why that play just come out of nowhere.
Yep.
And I'm what are you doing? Just take the chunk yards. Take what the defense is giving you, because they were giving in the middle of the field. They were giving it to them, and if they had just kept doing that, they would have been fine. Like I said, that last throw makes absolutely no sense. But then again, it's Carson Beck. This is what Carson does, and I'm really anxious to see what his draft stock looks like. I can't wait to see when we get to combine and we start gearing up for the NFL draft. Where are NFL teams looking at him? I mean, Mendoza's going to probably go first overall, I'd imagine. Poor guy's going to be a Raider soon. But, I just, what do you, hey, the Raiders to the Jets. I mean, whew, that's rough. That's rough. That's rough. But I don't know. That last play, man, that'll stick with us for a while. Well, at least for a couple more weeks, and then we'll move on. But it's Carson Beck at the end of the day. I mean,
Yep.
We've been waiting on it, and it happened.
All right, Feinbaum, you got a final thought?
No, I don't. Spoke my piece. I do agree. I'm glad that Fernando Mendoza won not only the Heisman but won that championship. That's a great dude. He's got got a good head on his shoulders. He means well. But it's going to be interesting to see the big time Christian in Sin City. It's going to be interesting. Hopefully he can provide for the Raiders fans out there. I certainly hope not. I'm a Ravens fan, so we're currently head coach searching. So no final thought from me. Roll Tide.
Y'all going to go after Kurt Signetti as a Ravens?
No, we're going to go after Sean McDermott.
Oh, okay. All right, Mob. Well, look, this is probably the shortest video we've ever had. It's, not much to talk about really right now. You had the championship game. It ain't like we had 8 good games this weekend, but we had one great game. Just to let everybody in the Mob know, well, first off, let us know about, your thoughts on the game in the comments. We'd love to hear from you, even you Big Ten people. Love hearing from you guys. I mean, go ahead, let us have it. You got 3 in a row. Y'all have earned it.
Hey, I
Y'all
want to
certainly
note
have earned it.
that I said that they owned us right now. Okay, I want that documented. I want it put out. I want it said so they can't be this guy's SEC box. No. You need to come back right here. I said this.
Big Ten fans, we come as humbled SEC people.
Yes. Yes.
But look,
Yes.
in the next few weeks and over the next few days, we're going to kind of switch it up. We're going to have probably the most asinine show we're going to have. We're going to have way too early schedule predictions, as we know, and we're going to revisit these every couple of months to see just how dumb we are on our original picks, because this is going to be fun. So, Mob, get your team schedule. Put it in the comments what you think next year. Do it right now, just for some fun. Let's just see, how bad we've missed the boat. Because, look, we got Portal coming up. We'll have spring and SEC Media Days. We're going to get into all that. But we've got some time to fill. So we've got to, we've got to kind of fill it accordingly. And we'll also have, our top 10 list on top 10, rivalries again. We'll go helmets. We'll go coaches. We'll go championship games. We may even go your top 10 favorite bowl games of all time. So let us know in the comments, as you always do, because we like interacting with you. So guys, I guess that'll do it for the Broducer and for Brant Feinbaum. I am the Chad Bullock, and we will see you on the next show.